I guess I can only say you reap what you sow, Democrats, with this story. Rapidly growing homeless encampments spring up near LA's celebrity-filled Beverly Hills neighborhoods, where the median home price is $3.5 million. Not for long, and boy, am I excited about this one. All of these woke celebrity Hollywood types who would sacrifice their own futures and children for just a little bit of fame and money will now lose massive amounts of equity in their houses because they played these dirty games. And it feels good, baby. You think the median home price of $3.5 million is going to hold when you are now surrounded by homeless encampments? Sorry, it ain't going to fly. Do you think I would want to buy a house here? First and foremost, the crime is disgusting. The smog is disgusting. The city, it's LA County, to be honest, has just been mismanaged for so long. I wouldn't want to live there anyway. But you know what? I get it. Celebrities, Hollywood types, they definitely want to live here. But do they want to live in a place where they're going to lose money? I don't know about that, because here's what's going to happen. Celebrity is going to get signed to a new movie. It's going to be some young up-and-coming, it's an up-and-coming young star. That's what it is. And they're going to be saying, look, I just got this big contract. It's a $2 million movie deal. I got to buy property. Here's how it works. With that movie deal for $2 million, they will now have income that they can go to a bank and leverage for a loan. That's right. A lot of these people, they don't buy these things in cash. Some do. But let's say you got a $3.5 million house. You're a celebrity who just signed a $2 million deal. You're going to be getting like $180K per month. You can afford the mortgage on a $3 million house, which is probably going to be like $20,000 to $30,000 per month. So if you're getting $180K per month, you're good. And you widely believe that, one, if you don't get any movie contracts later on, you can just sell the property. And more importantly, you're probably going to do better, get more deals, and you're probably already making other money. So they go to the bank. They say, we want to buy this. We're going to put down $400,000 to buy this property. Or I think for 3.5, put down $700,000, a big chunk of what these young up and coming young stars have saved up. Maybe a sign-on bonus, something like that. But hold on. Things are different these days. Now, the up and coming young stars of yesteryear are sitting in a $3.5 million house saying, my investment paid off. Living here was a good idea. But this homeless encampment is getting worrying. Something needs to be done about it. I'm going to put my house on the market. Uh-oh. No one's going to want to buy property there. You know why? If I buy a house there and the homeless problem gets worse, I am going to lose equity in my property. I am going to be underwater. I will owe the bank more money than the house is worth. Sorry, not interested, which means, bad news for you, Hollywood types. That $3.5 million house that you bought's only worth $2.5 million right now because it's surrounded by homeless people, thanks to the policies you've pushed, the politicians you've supported. Good luck. Now here's the problem. You can't leave. You can't move. You owe $3.5 million on a house that's only worth 2.5. By all means, you can sell it. Someone will buy it on the cheap, knowing that it's rock bottom. But what are you going to do with that $1 million in debt? So you're stuck. You can't go anywhere. And as the problem gets worse, oh no, now the value of your home is going to go down further and further, because the value of your home is predicated upon the amount of people who are willing to buy it. Supply and demand. They don't get it. They support this stuff. They burn down, figuratively, their own city, where they live. LA, they say, is the homeless capital of the developed world, and it's gotten worse. It's gotten worse because of them. It's gotten worse because of the policies they pursue mindlessly for short-term gains, and now it will hit them where it hurts, in their pocketbook. So be it. So be it. I will shed not a single tear. In fact, as I stated in a segment earlier in this week, I am going to take my friends and colleagues out for a delicious barbecue dinner where we will have moist brisket and coleslaw and smile and cheers, because we don't support this garbage. We got out of the cities. We are more self-sufficient, more self-sustainable. We help those in our community. I don't got to worry about garbage and litter and feces in the street. I don't got to worry about homeless people. I got chickens. I got a garden. I got solar power. We aren't the ones creating all the problems. We're not the ones creating all the waste. That's you. All your complaints about climate change, that's you. That's not me. That's you. And you see, now it's going to hurt. They say in January, the affluent Sherman Oaks neighborhood, just north of Beverly Hills, made national headlines after 3 people died on its streets in just 1 week. You know what I'm excited about? As these cities continue to spiral and decay, the rural properties are going to be worth a lot more money. How about that, huh? So if you buy cheap rural property right now, I mean, you take a look at what's going on in Idaho, Wyoming, and Montana. Properties were skyrocketing. You buy out in a rural area, everyone from these cities desperate to flee the problems they've created will be begging for your house. That means if you buy a cheapo house, I'm not telling you what to do, by the way. If I buy a house for a couple $100,000 out in West Virginia, close enough to an airport, maybe an hour or two, there's eventually going to be some city folk being like, I really, really need to get out of the seat. I need this house. And it's like, why would I sell it? And they'll say, well, I'll give you $200,000. I don't know, it was $200,000 when I bought it. I'll give you $300,000. I don't need it. $500,000. Now we're talking. Right? You see, this is the point. As the cities collapse under the weight of the ignorance and failures of these woke Democrats in the far left, that means the value for everybody else is going to go up. And in the end, they will destroy the lives of the marginalized people they claimed to want to protect. Because the rich people in these cities are not going to have to worry about anything. They already own rural properties. They don't care. To be fair, that is true of these celebrities in Hollywood as well. So it is good to see that many of them will still lose value on their investments in these cities. But the rich people will find a way to get out. They will buy at a premium, $500,000 for a rural property. And that's our benefit. That moves the money from the rich people to the poorer people, to the smarter people. They say there are no certain stats on homelessness in Beverly Hills, but in a report seen by a local paper, the Beverly Hills Courier, city manager Nancy Hunt Coffey wrote that it seems to be increasing. Perhaps you noticed it was increasing because there were homeless people everywhere that weren't there before. Last year, a number of residents in the neighborhood gave testimony to the city council on the experience of homelessness as part of a discussion to address the escalating issue. Many of my peers are considering moving because they consider the situation hopeless, said Amy Conroy, who said she is afraid to let her children play outside. Recently, LA Mayor Karen Bass ran a campaign on claims she was going to address the growing homeless crisis in LA. She tweeted about the Sherman Oaks deaths at the time, writing, "This is exactly why I've declared a state of emergency. Successfully confronting the homelessness crisis is a matter of life and death. The leading cause of death among homeless people in LA is drug overdoses. Other leading causes include murder and suicide." Here's a video for you of what's happening in Los Angeles. And Los Angeles has been bad for a long time. Obviously, they have Skid Row. But now the entirety of LA County is becoming Skid Row. More importantly, Beverly Hills. Wow. What was that show? The Beverly Hillbillies? Was that what it was? I can't remember. The Beverly Hillbillies? And it was like hillbillies living in Beverly Hills or something like that because they struck oil. So that, I mean, I got to be honest, the show, I think, as a premise makes no sense. If I lived in the middle of nowhere and struck oil, I wouldn't want to live in this place. I just build my own fancy place in the middle of nowhere and say, stay away from me. Anyway, I digress. Imagine the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air today. You know, if they were to make that song that Will Smith wrote, "In West Philadelphia, born and raised, it got really bad. There's riots and people are dying more than they've ever been." So my family was like, well, you're certainly not moving with your auntie and uncle in LA because Bel-Air is also really, really bad. So I got a cab to the middle of West Virginia where I live in a shack. That would be the show today. Here you go. Look at this. In the center of Junction in Beverly Hills, tents and tarpaulins, is that what it's called, have been set up by some of LA's homeless population. Speaking about the homeless death in Sherman Oaks, Ken Kraft of advocacy group Hope of the Valley said, "What we do see, unfortunately, is an increase in fentanyl on our streets, which has caused a higher level of overdoses." Bass told the conference in January that affluent residents in her city don't care about homeless people and just want to see them moved on or arrested. Surprise, surprise. Those caring, empathetic celebrities don't give one crap about any of these people. Now, the one thing I asked Dr. Paul last night, we've got unemployment, unemployment. At the same time, we have massive demand. All right, we have homelessness and massive demand. You'd think these things would solve each other. Companies want to hire people. Homeless people want to write themselves, but they don't. Drug abuse has taken over. This is the issue. It is cultural decay, and it is only getting worse. And while I do feel for the homeless people, you know who I don't feel for? The celebrities who are going to be losing money on their investments. Cry about it. I'll leave it there. Next segment's coming up at 1 p.m. on this channel, but don't forget to check out youtube.com/Timcast for the Culture War podcast. Today's episode's going to be lit. I think we got Alex Jones. Thanks for hanging out, and I will see you all then.